Okay, you guys. So on Tuesday, we talked about, and we watched the video of the 21 days on the TED Talk. It talked about 5 ways to change your mind, which are positive affirmation, meditation, gratitude, acts of kindness, and exercise, which all help your brain turn into something positive. So instead of just having all yourself, like setting yourself up to fail, make sure you set yourself up to be successful, which we can actually change how our brain is wired to be more successful and have the positive psychology with it as well. And then we did talk about the scientific method, which has about 4 different sections, and each of those have like a little arrow to it talking about how you get from one section to the other. We use science method in so many different ways. It always starts off with an observation and a question of why did this happen or why can't that happen. And then we talked about our history and chapter profiles on what he expects and how we should do them, and that needs to be in at the beginning of class when you walk in. And then on Thursday, we talked about the different psychologists. So we talked about Skinner, who is a positive reinforcement. So he thinks that there is like no such thing as free will. He thinks that every person should be bribed, and that's how we should set up our society. Because if people get bribed, then you can really have them do anything. Then we talk about Maslow, who is a humanist. He focused on happiness and self-esteem and the hierarchy of needs. So if you don't have like the needs met at the bottom of like safety and loved, then you can't have like your other higher needs either. Then we talked about Roger, which is good in all people. He thinks that they're all good, that the element is therapy, and he was a humanist and always positive. Then we talk about Watson, who was a huge behavioralist who wanted to see why this happened and why that happened. And then we talked about today, on Thursday, we talked about Freud, who was a 20th century thinker. He had new ideas of how the unconscious mind actually affected us, even though when we're not aware of it. And then, so it's like, we talked about like different activities and different exams they did on people to see how our brain would react. And so, yeah.